Welcome to another Woodshed Wednesday, where I discuss tips, licks, and tricks to make us better guitarists. Now, today what I want to talk about is the diminished 7 chord. Now, this kind of has two parts to it. First part being if you maybe don't know the shape for this particular chord, I'm going to show it to you. One shape anyway. I'm going to break these down as the weeks go on to some different shapes, but today we can think of this as part one of the diminished 7 chord, and I'll show you one shape, and then I'm going to show you out of that one shape how you can discover 4 dominant 7 chords and how you can find them whenever you need one across the fingerboard. Alright, so hopefully this is pretty cool for you. Hopefully it maybe sheds some light on this topic and maybe a way that you didn't think of the dominant 7s before. There's a lot you can do with dominant 7s, an awful lot, so that's why I kind of am hitting these a lot in these weekly lessons. So first of all, let's learn what the diminished 7 chord looks like on strings 4 through 1. I'm just going to play this guy here. Alright, that's a diminished 7 chord. And what I'm going to show you now is, and I guess I'll show you too a second way to play that. You can also bar the bottom 4 strings here and then put your 2 in the 3rd and 3 in the 1st. So you could do it that way also. I'm going to show it to you this way so you can see the individual notes as I run through these dominant 7 voicings. That will be a little clearer, I think. Alright, so let's say we want a G7. Okay, so here's what we do. If we want a G7, we're going to go one note above G, all right, a half step above G, which is a G sharp. So we're going to find this shape somewhere in the fingerboard that has a G sharp in it, all right? So if you look at this, there's a G sharp on the 1st string here at the 4th fret, so we'll construct our chord around that. All right, now what we'll do is we'll take this G sharp and we'll lower it a half step to make it a G, all right? Now to do that, what we'll do is we'll just simply bar this and then put a 2 here. There's your first G7 chord. Okay. Now, if I put my 3rd finger back, there's the other way I showed you to play that diminished 7 chord, right? But you lift the 3rd up, you lower the G sharp to a G natural, you have a G7. Now, as we continue up, let's find a G sharp somewhere else. So the next G sharp that comes along is on the 4th string. So we'll grab the diminished 7 chord. There. We'll take the G sharp, we'll push it back to a G. There's our next G7 chord. Okay? Okay, we keep following this up. We have a G sharp on the 2nd string here at the 9th fret. So we'll form this with our 2 finger on the 9th fret, 2nd string. We'll take the 2nd finger and move it back. We'll put our 1st finger back there, and then we'll just throw our 2 finger up where our 1 was. That'll lower the G sharp to a G natural. Now we have another G7. Okay, next G sharp that comes up will be this guy here, 13th fret, 3rd string. So we'll apply our diminished 7 chord here. Lower this guy back a half step. You'll see that all we gotta do, if we try that, that's gonna be really awkward. What do? We bar instead. There's our other G7. Alright? So that's how you can find all of your G7s across the fingerboard using a G sharp and then moving it back a half step. This works for all of your dominant 7s. All you have to do really is just memorize this one diminished 7 shape, and you have 4 dominant 7s that come out of that across the fingerboard. Okay, and actually if you keep that in place, okay, and as you move each one back, you would have those 4 shapes, but you would have 4 different dominant 7s if you keep it in one zone. Okay, but what we did was we took it across the fingerboard and found a G sharp on a different string. String 1, string 2, string 3, string 4. And then we lowered that a half step, and that gave you your 4 voicings, 4 dominant 7. Alright, so once you have those down, you can start to memorize them and build on your vocabulary. Next week, I think what we'll do is we'll tackle part 2, and we'll look at the inside voicings, and then we'll take a look also later at the outside voicings on strings 6 through 3 to really build up your vocabulary of not only these diminished 7 chords, but also your dominant 7 voicings. Alright? So until then, have fun with that, and as always, happy playing.